The Candlelight Concert Society is presenting the Parker Quartet on Saturday, October 28th at Smith Theatre, Howard Community College. Joining me in the studio, the artistic director, Irina Kaplan Lande. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Jonathan. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. This is a program that really reflects music in the Soviet Union and the music caused by the appearance of the Soviet Union 100 years ago in 1917.
Right. Yes. You know, Jonathan, that this October marks the 100th anniversary of Russian Revolution that's known in the West as the Red October Revolution.
Krasny Oktyabr.
We're presenting the Parker Quartet in the program of Stravinsky, Prokofiev, and Shostakovich. So these three giant composers whose lives and works were affected by this event, and you're going to be there narrating this concert and exploring with us what happened with these composers. When I'm thinking about how their lives turned out to be afterwards, I'm thinking of Stravinsky, who left Russia and never returned back to live there and work there, and Prokofiev, who did leave at the beginning of the revolution and returned in 1936, and Shostakovich, who never left and stayed in Russia and worked throughout his life.
I have to say the Soviet Union is one of the most fascinating things for me, because when I was a young man, I thought it would never end. I thought it would outlive us all and our children and our children's children. And also, their approach to music was a very interesting one. And there were people who wanted to completely destroy music and recreate it. And yet what they ended up doing was recreating the imperial Russian music in a Soviet guise. Also, what's fascinating is even with music being used as a Soviet propaganda tool, they produced some of the greatest music of the 20th century in spite of themselves.
It went in phases. At the beginning, when the revolution broke out, the first revolutionary were very supportive of these great composers, specifically of Prokofiev. Lunacharsky was his big fan. And when Prokofiev decided that the time was too turbulent and he wanted to go to the West and maybe wait until things will settle down and return, so Lunacharsky said to him, "You are a revolutionary in your music, and we're revolutionaries in our lives, so we must work together. But if you want to go to America, I cannot stand in your way." Then he decided to come back.
And that went well.
Yeah. How
An interesting decision. Shostakovich, of course, stays, as you say, for the duration. He's the ultimate in Soviet artists.
Yeah, but, you know, his situation is a little different. He was younger. He was actually almost 25 years younger than Prokofiev. So I don't think he had this choice. By the time the revolution broke out, he was only 11 years old. For him, it wasn't a choice, and he suffered working under the regime.
Yeah. And it's still an enigma today. There are still people who see Shostakovich as the ultimate dissident, and there are people who see Shostakovich as the ultimate collaborator. Still to this very day, his life remains a fascinating enigma to people. This will be Saturday, the 28th of October. And it will be at Smith Theatre, Howard Community College, 7 o'clock. This concert features a very fine string quartet, the Parker Quartet, music by Stravinsky, Prokofiev, and Shostakovich, three composers who changed music in the last century. It should be spectacular. Irina Kaplan Lande is the artistic director of the Candlelight Concerts. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thank you, Jonathan.